What's going on, Chris here? We're going to do the daily closing thoughts, SP500, weekly closing basis. We are coming into Friday, the 3rd. So we're going to see a weekly close. We could close above the line. We could close it below the line. I have no idea what it's going to do. We got to wait for the weekly close. Daily closing basis, we're getting some interesting kind of movement. We broke structure, reclaimed it. Now it looks like we're going to retest it. So nice deviation forming. A retest of say around 39.66 would be really good for a possible entry to the upside. So 39.66. As of right now, institutions are somewhat long. I suppose that if price were to go higher, this would drop, and that's kind of where I want to be at. I want to be on the selling side, just because elevator to the downside, stairs to the upside. So it just takes longer for to monetize price to the upside for the most part. But institutions are long for the most part until we get more information. And from the Q spectrum, we're long until the 19th. Trading spectrum, same thing. It's kind of honed in on this cycle here on the Q spectrum and just isolated that for the trading spectrum. So it's saying try to take some longs right now. And then the decennial also is long. So we're going to just kind of play the best hand we got. Risk to reward, play the best hand. Right now, we broke a 4-hour market structure. So a nice retest would be nice, or a good retest would be nice. Just not sound redundant here. If we turn this to the daily here and put a line up, we can't stop the period converter. So maybe we can get an idea of where that support would be. What's that box down there? What the hell is that box? Anyways, we'll get this line. Copy. And then we're going to put it here. Just see where it's at. So it looks like we're coming into the retest, and be a good retest to buy. That's it. If we were to find like a 5-minute fair value gap for the retest, it looks like this is the thing. This is it right here. So nice retest into here. If we happen to try to do the whole line thing, so it looks like it's up here. Fair value gap. So that's not a fair value gap. This is. So this is close to that line. But it's a little bit. It looks like we're in it right now. So I would like to think that maybe we come below and we come into this 5-minute fair value gap, and this is kind of like a good buying point. So 39.60 is roughly what I see. And if I were to go to the 3,000 tick area, what was it? 3,090. $968. So that's right where the RSI band is. So buying where the RSI band is for a long might be a good deal. I don't know how this is going to work. Friday's really weird, so I just don't assume anything. But it's possible we resume a little higher, as per suggestion by the institutional bias and the math cycles. And I think it's like seasonal in some way. I think maybe there's some economic news coming up, and could make sense for more of an upswing. But I will say that these closes are not super strong, but it's good for a long setup. And that's all I would say. So, but invalidation points are still a thing we look at for the bear trap bull trap. We basically hit the bear trap right here. Two different bear traps here, but I still think 4061 spot 65. If we don't get a weekly close above that, then I would say that we're not really going much higher than what it's already done. But resistance, weekly resistance, I expect it to hold because of the deviation here and left shoulder. I just look for that pattern, left shoulder, deviation, right shoulder. It's simple, risk defined, and a lot of people are looking to fill this gap here. Here's the thing about gaps. I like gaps for a setup, an entry to define risk. I'm like, okay, if price comes to here, I put my stop above there, and that's the risk defined, and it plays right into supply and demand and zones. But to aim to trade to fill gaps, I have just had the worst luck. I mean, statistically, I don't know. I know they fill, but it's so uncertain and unknown. It just doesn't make sense to me to chase after it. From what I've learned, when I start to measure just the fill of the gap or any profit target to where I start to think things that were unknown are known, then that's how I get tricked. That's how I get faked out, and that's how I am back into the retail mindset, and you get screwed. And I've just learned my lesson too many times that you're a retail trader when you fill gaps. When you're trading to fill gaps, like pros, I don't think pros fill gaps. Like, to be honest, I don't think they fill gaps. I think they use them for maybe a setup. That's the only way I can see it, just because of the frame of mind it puts you in. The FOMO that you feel for filling the gap, for measuring how much profit you would make, is such a retail kind of mindset. So I just don't do that anymore. But looking for setups, short side setups right here would be my thing. If we go up, I'll be looking for some kind of bounce or market structure break on round 4061 spot 65. But as far as a fill of this weekly fair value gap all the way to 4200, I just don't know. Like, unless we get a weekly close above 4061, I think it's improbable. And with the amount of resistance here, whether it's this up candle order block, bearish order block, or just these moving averages on the highs for the bear trap or bull trap, I'm just not about it. It level to level. Trader SZ, Trader Main, they just don't go outside of their scope of just picking long super targets. You just play the setup and the level to level. That's it. So that's pretty much it right there. We'll look at specifically this on the 12 hour. So we broke down to the downside. And this is another reason why I just don't think it's going to go to 4,200 unless we broke the bullish side of this bearish order block. I just don't think it's going to go there. Like, like it would have to break. And then that's when we start to think that. To start thinking 4,200, it's a little jump. You jump the gap. You kind of skipped a couple steps. First you have to break the bears and make them capitulate, and then retest to see if the support's strong and that there's enough bulls there to hold price up, and then you go up that high. But when we're facing a bearish breaker, it's just in the bearish order block on top of the bearish breaker. It's a little hard to imagine 4,200. And then also the weekly resistance. There's no weekly close above that weekly resistance. So it's just so hard to imagine that 4,200 is a real thing. So, but, any kind of pump we get in the 12-hour closing basis, especially this Friday with shenanigans about to happen, like, I don't know how high it's going to go, but you bet you I'm going to be shorting. But, we're coming in for a retest, and we could come up to 4037 for a retest on this naked breaker. So this is a good play along into 4037. That makes sense to me because it's a naked 4-hour breaker. And then the goal would be to long it into here and the bull trap. So I think from what I remember, 4061 is the weekly resistance. It's pretty much almost the end of this breaker. So it would be somewhat this 4-hour fair value gap. Or if we were to put it, the support that was broken. This is the support that's broken. 406028. So a nice long into here and possibly 4060. That's when I'll be looking for reversals for a 12-hour kind of sell-off. And then people would be like, oh my gosh, it's so obvious. Why didn't I see it? Well, you were thinking like a retail. It's just, if you need guidance, look to Jim Cramer. He'll just do the opposite of what he says. But I'm targeting this naked 4-hour breaker. I think it's a magnet, but I don't think it's something that's going to break the 12-hour breaker, or 12-hour bearish order block. But I do think we are going to get a swing to the upside. We are confirmed on the bias of the institutions and the math cycles, whether it be the AI cycles from Q Spectrum or the trading spectrum or the forced 10-year cycle, 10-year annual, for all showing basically confluent behavior to the upside. But now looking into extracurricular US dollar. US dollar has been holding, so it's another reason why I don't think 4,200 is in the picture. The euro, it's holding, but we don't. We just don't know how long this will last. If we were to put this at weekly resistance here, I think we already broke weekly resistance. So this is the new weekly resistance here. If we don't get any new weekly higher closes, then I think it's pretty dead. And I think it has to do with this weekly fair value gap right here on the engulfing. Would you look at that? Looks beautiful. Okay, but for the most part, something that would be interesting is to look on the 4-hour. Maybe we can get some insight on what's coming. And I think the best we got is maybe a 4-hour breaker to the downside, or if we get another 12-hour breaker. It's just I haven't seen one, and we got to check to see if the script is working. Yeah, script is working. So we got to wait until breaker comes. Japanese yen, strong retest into this weekly breaker to the upside. We're just waiting for resumption, whoever that may be. It looks like we've completed a retest of the support of the swing failure pattern, left shoulder, deviation, or head, right shoulder. We just need a resumption to the upside. So that makes me fearful. Like, it makes me want to just wait for sell side setups. But we are also waiting for a 12-hour breaker to the upside on the Japanese yen. It hasn't happened yet. So because of that, I'll take any short-term moves. But I'm not measuring. I'm telling you right now, I'm not measuring any moves. I'm taking my 2-to-1 risk to reward and my 5-to-1 runner at break even. But I'm not shooting for any, like, maybe I'll push the runner towards 4,200, but I just don't have any hope for 4,200. And then the VIX. So we did get a break and a retest resumption to the downside, but we retested straight into I don't know. It looks like support. It looks like a retest into the old breaker. And if we were to say that this is a huge fair value gap here on the 12-hour, it doesn't look like it's going to. It doesn't look like it's filling. It looks like it's holding. And it hit the 50% zone. So this 50% zone, I just think it's people buying it up. It's just hard to believe that this could go lower. I mean, we could. It just maybe we'll watch this 4-hour breaker. If we break this 4-hour breaker or order block and make it into a breaker to the upside, then that's probably more confirmation than we need. We did have a naked 4-hour breaker to the right here, which we retested. Now we got to see. Okay, what is it going to do? Are we going to get some risk off fear sentiment, or are we going to just totally go down a little bit lower? Who knows? But Friday's going to be weird. I don't think I'm going to chase after any longs, to be honest. It just looks too weird. It looks too close to what's happening. Like maybe I'll do less than what I normally trade. Just keep it really low profile. But man, like I really just want sell side setups, to be honest. Like with just how bad things are looking. US dollar holding, euro kind of holding. It's going. They're both going sideways, and the Japanese yen just made a full retest. Now we just gotta watch it, see where it goes. VIX, really weird. Hit that 50% zone on the retracement into this swing failure pattern, and it's do or die. Like, it's cool that we had enough patience. We've survived this long. We just gotta wait to see kind of people to reveal their hand. Big players. We just need for some time for the price action to reveal its hand. I think that's kind of what happens when you watch a really good show. Sometimes the writer, they just drag things out, and you just gotta be patient for the writer to just run out of moves and just get tired and be like, okay, fine, I'm gonna just reveal what I've been hiding, all this tension that was built up. I'm just gonna reveal it now, and we just gotta be patient, and that's kind of just what we're doing. And then, I think that's it. Copper's down. Still bearish order block on copper. Still a retest, bouncing around. Probably going to ping pong for a while on lumber. Just haven't gotten out of the breaker retest. We've just been under that. It's been actually resistance, it looks like, for lumber. So, growth signals on commodities are up. So something's up. Something's fishy. You got copper and lumber down. You got the VIX at support. Unless we broke through support, it's not something that it's not something that's really happening right now. We're pretty much right at the base. And then Japanese yen, I'll just say US dollar hasn't broken down. Euro hasn't broken out. Really, it's just gone sideways. There is it's a lower high. Could be and it failed. It looks like it failed resistance here. 12-hour closing basis. Script's still working, but got rejected. We'll see what happens. We just don't know. US dollar still holding, attacking this high. Looks like could be forming some kind of bull flag coming up, like a breakout bull flag. Probably from this wick high. It'll break out, retest here, come back, and form a bull flag probably right here. Bull flag here. and then break out. So we'll see. I just, this is kind of just the best guess. Like, I'm just kind of giving it my all and just what I think is going to happen. Um, and it's just another, it's just another thing to get people excited about the bull trap. Like, when you're so close to the bull trap, you would think you would be more sensitive to where your mind frame, your mindset would be. Like, oh, we're getting really close to the bull trap, which is right around here, the weekly resistance. Like, oh, we're getting really close to the bull trap. Maybe I shouldn't be just so FOMO. You think that. Or maybe I should take a sell side, good risk to reward setup as we go into resistance. Sell into resistance. Don't buy into resistance. Anyways, that's kind of just my spiel. I have no idea what's going to happen. We just have our forecast. We have what the institutions are thinking. And we have our levels and our risk to reward setups, or just where we would get good plays for risk to reward, upside, downside. And that's the best we got right there. And that's enough. That's enough. But as far as like the performance for today, I did really well. I think I showed my performance. If not, it's right here. I've added some indicators that are making it easier. Like for instance, the measured move, and this indicator for the price action indicator. This is like helping me slow down my itch, trading itch, because it takes away the buttons. Of course I have the buttons here, but this is really keeping me in the right mind frame, the right speed for manual trading, which is through this price action indicator. And the measured move Fibonacci lines help out a lot, and just like understanding what my risk would be, or if it's a good area to buy for the risk to reward setup. And I always look at what's going on here on the market structure breaks. Of course, my intraday, which would be 30-minute, 15-minute, any kind of break catches my eye, and I try to monetize that throughout the day. But definitely a good milestone. Pulled out $1,000 from the account, and of course I got 8 accounts. Just looking at the overview of the Apex trader funding. Account summary. We're doing pretty good. So these 4 are new, and we've is there a way we can isolate them? So 34. So we've roughly been making around, we hit $500 in one day. We've been hitting roughly 200, 300 per day. If you could see from 34, 35, and 36, 37, they're all the same. But we're hitting roughly $200, $300 per day average. That's kind of what it's kind of like. Maybe it's like 100, but it's still not bad. Like 200, 300, like it's not bad a day. But we got 3 kind of waiting, and we got 4 we're powering up. We got to get to 53 grand, and then we could pass it. For some reason, 34. No, they're all the same. They're the same stage level. But so I got it. It's a 49. What is it? 51.23, and I think that's what it's at right now. Yeah. So it just updated. So that's roughly $2,000 away from passing the evaluation. And then we just took this was 53,702, took out $1,000, and we made 200 today. So all we need to do is convert all of these accounts to be just like this one, and then be pulling $1,000 per account per month. That'd be great, and I think that's totally doable. I mean, if we're making 200, maybe 300 a day, or even just 100 a day, like, it's totally doable. So that's something just to get excited about on the horizon, and just to to good risk management. That's kind of why I think futures are definitely better than options. But yeah, I some things I've added, since, like, if you're still watching this, then like you like this. Um, I have started scaling in to building pyramiding, or building position trading, but with stop losses, of course. Some people like to position trade with no stop loss. I don't do that. When you trade the indices, you need a stop loss. When you trade currencies like forex, you could get away without a stop loss. But I would do an entry into the moving measured move. I would do like a trap play, stacked imbalances on the reverse side. So if it was going into resistance like this one, I would look for bulls who are excited to break out, and I would have an automated entry for whenever the bulls get excited to break out. There's a triple stack imbalance to the upside. It would go short into this measured move, and that's my first entry. And then technically this price action indicator is supposed to get me my second entry, and then my Trade Devils footprint auto trader gets me my like third, fourth, and fifth entry. And then if the whole position is holding together, and I don't feel like there's a whole lot of risk, then I set this up. This one it tries to find 10 good entries, and then I have the risk to reward all 5-1 here. And technically this would equal up to 10 micros, which would be 1 mini. And that's the goal, is just to have just really good entry alpha, to where building the leveraged value of 1 mini, which is 10x a micro, is no problem, and would be able to catch a run. And that's kind of like the ideal going into a possible elevator to the downside, 25-30%. So that's kind of just what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is trying to pass these evals quickly, so then when it comes to, say, March 19th, March 15th, whatever that math cycle peak is, I'll be ready. I'll have, I don't know, 4 live accounts, 8 live accounts, whatever. I just pulled a grand, so maybe we can convert all of them. But we just gotta take it step by step. Most likely, I'll be able to convert 3 of them, and then the rest would be at the end of the month. And then maybe we would get some good rally to where we could use all 8. But that's pretty much it for the daily overview. Thanks for watching.